Hey guys, welcome to The 5Cs. This is Planet Head, playing as Ashford Rogers. Living the life, having some fun. Trying to stay along the format that I've been trying to change to the new videos. We're going to try to do a hint or a helpful nugget at the beginning of the video, switch over to a little bit of gameplay of me dying, and then maybe just some jibber jabber about some stuff. Um, One little word of note. Um, I have been off a couple of days. I have been playing a little bit, not as much, just because I've been working so much. Um, it seems like a nice little rotation that I've fallen into with doing videos on Sundays, Mondays, and sometimes Tuesdays. Those are my days off of work, because the other days I'm usually working 12-hour days. So I can still play, but I'd much rather focus on being awake while doing the videos. So just jumping in real quick. If you remember the last video I had, I'd come up with a kind of game plan of things that I wanted to do, um, and I am doing them. The first one is to practice my PvP. That's my short-term goal. Second one is having a medium goal. I want to try to live out here in low sec with Ashford Rogers for at least 30 days if possible. I have set up my home station out here in Taff. And last but not least, the long goal is to make Faction and Tech 2 equipment. Um, that said, I got a little bit behind because of my hint of the day where I screwed up. Um, and the hint is I had moved all my blueprints out to my station that I've kind of found out here in Taff to start building a few things. I then took the 24 hours to join faction warfare. I had my corporation switch over, and then I had to wait until the next reboot. So that was really about 36 hours. Because I wanted to try out faction warfare with Ashford Rogers. Thinking, okay, I'll get blown up a couple times. I'll go make some more ships, things like that. The hint is that I made a major mistake because, and I'll pull it up here. If I've got it there. Good, good. Where is my. There you are. So I had loaded all my um, blueprints into a station that I can build stuff at, and um, the mistake I made was I'm in the Minmatar Republic, fighting for the Minmatar Republic, and I didn't read up enough on faction warfare, and I knew that the different factions can take over areas, that the Amar can take over a system. But I didn't know that they, while they take over the system, I assume there were bonuses and things like that, but they also take over the acceptance into stations. So even though my blueprints are sitting out here in a Republic fleet station that I'm going to be making things at, the dumb part is I could once I left the station I couldn't get back in. So that's kind of dumb. Um, and it's almost impossible to live out here in faction warfare space the way I want to do it, the way I've always played, um, if you can't get into the stations. So I'll just give you the final part to the hint here. Oh, stupid ad. Blah, blah, blah. Don't need you. Um, so just to give you a for instance here, I'll just show the map. There we are. And I'm in TAF right here. It's currently controlled by the Amar. So it doesn't matter if the stations in here are actually faction warfare, are Minmatar stations. They are still not accessible. One thing I did not try is, because all my blueprints were here, so I couldn't dock up. But what I didn't try was going to Gukari, where there are a couple of stations there. One of them is a faction warfare for the Minmatar station, Minmatar group. The Tribal Liberation Force is the Minmatar factional warfare. I don't know if I could have docked up there. I'm assuming I couldn't, but maybe I could have since it's actually part of the Minmatar group. But so my hint of the day is be a little bit more careful with what you're doing. I did back out of being part of factional warfare just so I could dock up and live out here. So I've started that as of yesterday. I'm still going to fly around with my other character, Robert Gouldshaw. If I need anything, I'll have him haul the stuff in and contract it over to Ashford. One other option down the road is to actually, let's just pull it back up here. We'll go back one. There is one, it looks like the Amar have pretty much taken over everything here. They are on a run. And there's only one system here that is controlled. Actually, there's two systems controlled by the Minmatar. So if I wanted to, I could move my blueprints over here and then join faction warfare. I may mess around with that down in the future, but right now I just want to work on living out here. That said, I did die earlier today, so that's the end of the hint part. Earlier today, it was a pretty quick, again, death. But, is that 8-2? 8-1. Is that recording it right there? I think this is it here. We'll just pull it up and see what happened. While I died pretty quickly, I think I did what I wanted to do. I think my gameplay was pretty good. Let me just pull that over here so you can see. There we go. So I think this is the one I had on earlier. Actually, this is kind of a longer video because at this point here, I was trying to, let's turn that down. There we go, so you don't have to hear me breathing twice. I know I had to have a deep breath. But here, I was trying to find a guy to get into a fight with. And I went to a couple different systems. He was basically just running every time I came in, so that was a little frustrating. He was just flying a Rifter, if I remember. No, it was an Atron. So I was trying to snag him if I could. Did a little bit of directional scanning, seeing if I could find him in different spots. We'll sneak along a little bit farther here. I'm going into another acceleration gate. This might be where I die. Nope, I was still chasing him there. So we can keep going here. So at this point, I think I was able to find the fellow right here. I was tracking, going to the Warp 2. I updated my Warp 2 area here. I noticed this Rifter was sitting in a station. And I just jumped at the chance, went after him. There were too many guys here to try to figure out who it was. And I'd been sticking for a fight. I have not reviewed this footage yet, so let's take a look here. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm pretty sure over here I had changed my directional scanning to make sure that nobody was sneaking in. But again, I'm not too worried about that because I do usually die pretty quickly. We go ahead and keep going here. The goal is that I'm trying to focus on is, now this is the most basic tactic available, but I want to get it down so then I can adjust it. Warp in, target, and then shoot toward them, lock them down while shooting my guns, trying to get my guns to overheat and keep everything going. So that's the goal. If I can get that down, I don't care how many times I die. If I get that down, I have a base to then try to work on some better tactics. So here I'm up on the acceleration gate. Good. I always try to hit that acceleration gate a little bit too fast. Okay. So, let's do something a little bit different. What I'm going to do is over here on the other screen. Now that I've warped in here, now these fights are so fast it's almost impossible to figure out who the person is. Maybe in a cruiser or something like down the road. But one thing we can do is actually look at the guy that I'm about to fight and see if I actually have a chance. See a kill board over here. His name is Dragutin Radomil. Dragutin Radomil. Tin Radomil. There we go. Hello. Let's try this again. Drago Tin. Misspelling that? Dragutin. Sorry. There we go. Radomil. So let's take a look at him before the fight happens and see how mismatched I was. So right here, oh, he's 62% dangerous, so he does do some fighting. Looking at his kills, oh, he was able to kill a, looks like a, what is that? He had 3 kills that day. I think one of them was me. Is that a, I think that's a fire tail? Is that a fire tail? Faction of our Empire. My brain is not functioning here. So there, looks like he teamed up with somebody else to kill them. Did about half and half damage there, so he was involved with that. Was able to get a 30 million S kill there. So let's just take a quick look at his ongoing. Just got a couple kills there. Up there I am right there, dead. A whole 760,000 kill. Wish I would have found that guy first. I might have had a chance. He only had 506,000. He did lose a 15 million-ish ship. So here's a good one. Okay, so the ship that I'm about to fight is a Rifter. He died in a Rifter the other day. So something to look for with somebody you're fighting is to see, have they shown that ship in other parts? 16.8, 16.48, these are all Rifters. So he's running those pretty well. It looks like they're a little bit different each time. But let's just take a look at the Rifter here that he had, that he died in. This was probably a good example of what killed me. If I remember correctly, I might have had a chance at this if I maybe. This makes sense. Okay, so when I micro warp drived at him, I remember I was tinged for a second, and then he blasted me. And I took a big hit, went straight into my structure, went right through my armor, if I remember correctly. And that would explain it, because whenever I micro warp drive, I think this is what happens. My signature radius ballooned, which allowed his guns to be able to hit me even harder as if I was larger. He's got long range guns on these. Now the one thing I'm looking at here is he's able to warp disrupt anybody, but he didn't have anything there to slow me down, but he does have a micro warp drive on his ship. So me with my micro warp drive, him with his, would I have been able to track him down? The question is, if I could have gotten in close enough, I would have had to leave the micro warp drive on. Could I have stayed away from his guns? That's the big question. I don't know if I could have or not. If he was flying the same ship, which makes a lot of sense. This is something that I've been trying to do a little bit more, is try to look through the fight. I'm going to die, but look through the fight through the other guy's eyes if I can find a fit that might seem similar to what he might have been flying. So I'm warping in. I've just landed. My goal is to lock on him, maybe close that distance, because I am not shooting short range. I'm shooting long range guns. So if I would have had the afterburner, I would have been in a lot of trouble, um, because he had the micro warp drive. I would have wanted to go with a warp, I think, scrambler. If I could have gotten in close enough, I think that might have slowed him down. But again, he could hit me right away. Um, the micro warp drive might have lowered the damage that he hits me with. So, enough talking. Let's watch it. My other thing here is to see if I'm doing things in order. I have my cursor there, so it looks like I am targeting him. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I think I do correctly, I'm targeting him. Next thing I want to do is close the distance. Okay, so I've now started approaching it. So I initially approached him, then I target him. Now I've got my micro warp drive on, to try to get in close. You see my speed picking up. He has already locked me down. So he's at 15 kilometers away. So he's not warp scrambling me. He's warp disrupting me. I'm trying to remember all of this stuff. But I think he's warp scrambling me. So, and if you notice here, I actually got, he barely hits me right there, but I actually got a hit in right there at 15 kilometers away. I think my only guns only go to about, maybe 7. There it is, faint warp disruptor. Okay, so let's keep going here. So now he hits me again. So my shields are down to 25. I haven't been able to lock him down yet, but I'm trying. See that right there? Shields instantaneously gone. He hit me once. I'm already in trouble right here. Now, when do I get my armor repair on? I don't think it would even hurt to have it running right off the bat. Just to get that one in there. Now I am firing. I'm actually doing a little bit of damage, but I'm not going to kill him. He hits me again. I'm down to less than half of my armor. I have not been able to close the distance at all yet, so my guns aren't going to do hardly any damage. Oh wow, no, that hit did go all the way through my armor. So there we go. See what happens next. Now he hits me again. Now I'm down to 10% structure. He's hitting me for 333. I'm hitting him for a whole whopping 13. Fantastic. It shouldn't last too much longer. Let me go back here though. I want to make sure. I think I was able to overheat. Did I remember to overheat my guns? Let's see here. I want to make sure. I can go a little bit farther than that. Okay, so I did get the guns going. I went over to check to see what he's got on me. That's there. And now I think I try to overheat the guns right there. Turn it, or overload them. Yep. So I think I was able to overload the guns. So I'm kind of happy with what I've done. Again, this is a really cheap ship that I'm working on my tactics with. Shoot. There we go. So really, I didn't even have any time to do any tactics other than the initial try to close the distance. At no point was I able to. So at that point, what I have to do is start recognizing the tactics that they're using. If the major problem I'm going to run into is these fights are so quick, as you can tell. So even a quick switch over. Maybe an option is to go full tank with my Rifter. Try to find a way to 100% tank it up, just to get a little bit more time to see the tactics that are being involved, and see what might happen that way. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll mess with something like that. So I'm not too unhappy with what happened. I'm going to start upgrading my ships a little bit more, because I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with the controls. There are certain things I do want to set up a hotkey for the overloading. A good guy left me a message with that. from the last fights that I had, and I need to do that rather than trying to click on the exact thing. And maybe the order, maybe get the armor repair going early. Um, but these are things that I can look at and mess around with, but that's that there. Um, so, you guys want to watch me die? There we go. We'll watch me die. Here we go. Capsule ejected. I am dead. And get a good fight and a good fight. I gotta warp away. There we go. So I got away. So I'm happy with that. I think I get a good fight out of this one. Nice. And a good fight. Good. So thank you, Drugaton, for teaching me a little bit about warp drives and disruptors and how to use them effectively. So that's that. Where are we at in the time here? I don't need my snipping tool. Go away. 21 minutes. So just to jabber on a little bit more, with the mistake that I made with signing up for Faction Warfare earlier, it gives me a long-term goal to add into my notepad. Here we go. So I was able to improve my gameplay. Even though I died, I feel like compared to the other videos, I had a little bit more control over what was going on. Overheating is going well. Knowledge of ships. One thing I do need to update there is hotkeys. Whoops, actually I can put that into the overheating. So overheating hotkeys. I want to keep working on that. I'm going to keep working on these. You know what? I didn't do that thing. I had my camera angle so close. I need to pull out on that. So that was a mistake. Long term, or medium term, I'm going to try to live out here in low sec for the next 30 days. I'm not going to leave unless something happens. I may switch back over to Faction Warfare. I'm not sure. Long term, I want to add on one here. I've talked about this nice little 3-spot system near TAF. Make a home in TAF for Faction Warfare. So a long-term possible goal, I'll pull the map up over here, is to keep fighting in TAF and switch over to Faction Warfare, possibly. Notice there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fought for here. But this is a really long-term goal, but maybe start organizing some guys who might be interested in founding a home base in this area and focusing on these. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of Amar groups that are out there that want to kill me or keep a hold of this. But I've noticed normally there's only 4 or 5 guys in the system at a time. So I could just start hunkering down here and just trying to kill guys, the Amarians, who are actually holding space in here, and maybe help the Mimitar reclaim this area. Oh, wait, there is one more Mimitar spot here, right down here in Resproka. So maybe they are making an offensive. I see from this direction, maybe from this direction. The last time I played, if I remember correctly, the Mimitar only had Helgatild. Let's see here. Let's see. You can find that out. Let's check out Bryn. So Bryn was just taken over. I'm right. Bryn was just taken over by the Minmatar on the 31st, so just 2 days ago. So the last time I checked, it wasn't. So there are some inroads. Maybe I'll fly over there and check in and see if there's anybody I can help out. But so that is going to be my long-term goal that I'm going to throw in here. Make TAF home in Faction Warfare for Minmatar. There we go. Alrighty, should have another video up probably tomorrow. Got a lot of stuff to do, but I'm going to be playing tomorrow night. If anybody wants to fly out here and fight with me, not against me. You can fight against me, I don't care. Wouldn't mind trying to take out some guys together. Um, but that's about it for tonight. I don't want to have it go too long. Stay safe and stay alive. That's what I'm trying to say. Uh, good luck and stay alive. Have a good one. Bye bye.